Nobody expected Charlie Woods to do what he did on that green, not even Tiger. The stakes weren't global championships or PGA Tour millions, it was a playoff at the US Junior Amateur Qualifier in June 2025, a small but fierce battleground for rising stars, and yet with every shot Charlie took, the tension crackled like it was. Augusta on Sunday, the sun was setting over the fairways. Tiger stood silent behind the ropes, sunglasses barely hiding the intensity in his eyes. You could hear a pin drop before Charlie lined up that final putt, and then boom, the crowd roared. The ball dropped, and something in. Tiger broke. This wasn't just another round. It was the start of something that nobody could ignore. Charlie didn't collapse or jump in celebration. He just looked up at his dad, gave him the tiniest nod, and walked off the green like a veteran. But Tiger was seen wiping tears from his eyes. The man who won 15 majors, whose stare-down legends on the 18th hole, couldn't hold back. Cameras caught it. Fans felt that something real had happened. This wasn't manufactured drama or sports cliché. This was raw emotion from one of the toughest icons the sport has ever seen, Tiger's tears said, more than any trophy ever could. This wasn't just a junior. When it was a moment that broke through decades of legacy pressure, Tiger has spent years shielding Charlie from the weight of being a Woods butt. In that moment, all the media scrutiny, comparisons, and shadow chasing didn't matter. Charlie stepped into his own, and Tiger let the world see what that meant to him. He wasn't just proud, he was overwhelmed. That one round shifted the way the world talks about the Woods name, but it turns out that wasn't even the most powerful moment of the day. What? Charlie said after the match hit. Tiger, even harder than that final putt, the real emotional punch was still coming. Nobody saw it coming. You thought the round was unforgettable. Wait until you hear what he said next. You think a clutch putt was emotionally what Charlie said after hit even harder minutes after sinking that final shot to win the US Junior Amateur Qualifier. Charlie stood in front of the mic, sweat on his forehead, still catching his breath. The reporter asked the usual fluff about focus and mindset, but instead of the rehearsed media answers, Charlie took a deep breath and looked straight into the camera. I know we argue, he said, but I love you. Dad, this one's for you. The words cut deeper than anything anyone expected. Tiger, just off camera, froze. For a man who's built his life on composure, that moment cracked the armor. This wasn't a scripted Hallmark moment. It was messy, honest, and years in the making. Everyone knows Tiger hasn't been an easy mentor. The hours of grueling training, the pressure of the Woods legacy, the expectation that Charlie should already be better than most adults on the tour, it all adds up. And Charlie, he's carried that weight in silence until now. That one line was more than just a dedication. It was a confession, a peace offering, a son trying to break through the noise and reach his father. That wasn't just Charlie talking. It was years of emotion finally getting their voice. It wasn't just a win, it was an emotional reconciliation. Played out on national TV, Tiger reportedly had to step away from the press zone after hearing Charlie's words. One eyewitness said he just nodded, turned, and walked quietly behind the clubhouse to collect himself. No interviews, no smile, just raw, unfiltered feeling. This was a side of Tiger the world almost never sees, and for the first time, it wasn't about his swing, it was about his heart for the man who's been larger than life. This was the most human he's ever looked, and it sent shock waves across the entire golfing world. Commentators paused, fans choked up, rivals applauded. That line from Charlie wasn't just a headline, it was a moment of truth, because sometimes the heaviest swings come from the words you never saw coming behind. Every swing, there's a shadow, Tiger's shadow, whether you're on a PGA leaderboard or hitting at a junior Invitational. Tiger Woods' presence looms large, and it's not just family. In a recent week, US Open twist, JJ Spaun openly credited Tiger for giving him the mental edge to clinch a come-from-behind win during a mid-round rain delay. Spaun leaned on strategic advice Tiger had once given him, simple but powerful, and it worked. If Tiger's words are lifting tour pros to championship titles, imagine what they're doing behind closed doors with Charlie. The golf world isn't just witnessing Tiger's legacy, it's being shaped by it in real time. But here's the twist. Tiger's influence isn't just instructional, it's spiritual. He's a living myth, a symbol of perfection under pressure, and that weight isn't light. especially for someone sharing his last name. Charlie doesn't just learn from Tiger, he lives in the orbit of one of the most dissected sports careers in history. Every step Charlie takes isn't just measured in yardage, it's measured in comparison. Every round becomes a referendum on whether the sun can match the legend. That kind of gravity either crushes you or it forges you. Tiger's wisdom is echoing across the sport, but only Charlie lives inside the echo chamber. For Spawn, it's inspiration. For Charlie, it's expectation. And Tiger, for all his brilliance, knows that's why you don't see him pushing Charlie into every spotlight or forcing him to chase media hype. He's teaching his son not just how to win, but how to handle the storm that comes with greatness. Still living up to the name, Woods isn't a challenge. It's a gauntlet, and every young prodigy knows it's easier to chase a dream than to inherit one. But with this round, Charlie proved he's not stuck in the shadow, he's casting one of his own. The echoes of Tiger's dominance may still ring across the fairways, but now there's a new sound coming through Charlie's swing, and it's not just the sound of talent. It's the sound of independence. The internet exploded, but they missed the real story. Just days after Charlie's emotional post-win moment with Tiger, the golf world's attention shifted to the US Open, and not because of who was leading the leaderboard. A sudden weather delay halted play and left broadcasters scrambling to fill airtime. That's when it happened. Clips of Tiger waiting out storms from his prime years resurfaced across social media. Then came the jokes. Tiger storms always bring drama. Like father, like son, both make it rain. But what started as lighthearted banter took on a deeper meaning fast, because behind the memes was something nobody could ignore. Charlie had just created a storm of his own. Fans weren't just laughing, they were connecting dots. The parallels between Tiger's once unstoppable dominance and Charlie's sudden emotional rise were too strong to ignore. But instead of overpowering his competition with a killer drive, Charlie hit viewers with something far rarer: raw public vulnerability. That moment of Tiger tearing up, of Charlie dedicating his win to their complicated relationship. Came the storm. The internet couldn't look away from this. Wasn't about the leaderboard anymore. This was about a lineage being reshaped in real time. What the world saw as a tearful father, they should have seen as a torch being passed. The clip of Tiger wiping his eyes, the stillness in his expression, the hug he gave Charlie afterward. It wasn't staged. It wasn't for the cameras. It was a father realizing his son had just stepped into something bigger than winning, and viewers felt it. Even if they didn't say it out loud, sometimes it takes a storm to clear the view, and what we saw next was crystal clear, because when Tiger cried, the world finally understood Charlie Woods is the future, and the future is now. That clip may go viral for years to come. But it won't be the tear that sticks. It'll be the weight of what it meant. The next great chapter in golf wasn't hinted at. It was just written in front of us. Nobody expected Charlie Woods to do what he did on that green, not even Tiger. The stakes weren't global championships or PGA Tour millions. It was a playoff at the US Junior Amateur Qualifier. In June 2025, a small but fierce battleground for rising stars, and yet with every shot, Charlie took the tension, crackled like it was Augusta.